Sanayi Devrimi temalı oturumun ikinci konuk konuşmacısı, Bosch, Dizel ve Benzinli Sistemler Teknik Genel Müdürü Sayın Marc önce özgeçmişini arz ediyorum. Marc ilk orta ve yüksek öğrenimini Stuttgart'ta tamamladı. Bosch ile 1990'da tanıştı. Uzun süre Almanya ve Fransa'daki Bosch fabrikalarında farklı görevlerde bulunduktan sonra Hindistan'daki Bosch fabrikalarında teknik fabrika müdürü olarak görev yaptı. 2013'ten itibaren de Bosch, Bursa fabrikasının teknik genel müdürlüğünü yapmaktadır. Davet ediyorum kürsüye konuşmalarını yapmak üzere. Buyurun efendim.
Thanks first to BUSİAD to invite me for doing some information about Industry 4.0. Now, what we are doing in Bosch and what are we doing in our Bursa plant, which maybe the one or the other is knowing this. So maybe it's 60 years back. We have been very proud if we had a new machine, which is called a computer in that time, which was able to store 5 photographs, means 5 megabyte, and this a very big topic. And finally, it weighed 1 ton, 60 years back. Now, another example maybe, who from you are using smartphone today? This little small thing? Okay, so approximately 70–80%. Who from you used this telephone, this smartphone, 5 years back? Okay, some. Me neither. And 10 years back? Somebody who used a smartphone 10 years back? Nobody. Yeah, maybe we can even start asking who had a telephone 10 years back. And nowadays it's normal. And I have seen already some children who have been on the television and made that one and nothing moved. So the time is really changing and time is really changing fast. And there I would like to tell you a little bit what we are doing. Now, before that, I would like to show you and tell you something about Bosch, just that you have an idea about Bosch in general in our Bursa plant. Then a small introduction about Industry 4.0 and some megatrends. And then what we are doing in the Bursa plant, some experiences, some strategies, what we have put up. And we just had some discussions before with some of you. What is Industry 4.0? And for me, 1.5 years back, 2 years back, I had no clue. I looked for some showcases that I can also try out in our plant. There was nothing there. I would like to show you something what we have done in the last 2 years, some applications, and afterwards a summary. Now, Bosch in general, I would like to take not so much time. 2014, we have made a turnover in our group of close to 50 billion euros with 290,000 associates and in approximately 150 countries. Beginning of this year, we have bought some joint venture, the additional 50% shares what we have had. So in the meantime, this turnover is raised to approximately 63 billion euro with 360,000 associates. Mobility solution, that means it's everything which is with mobility, mainly with automotive, is the major part of our turnover. That means 2/3 of our turnover we are doing at Bosch with automotive. And since I'm at Bosch now 25 years, we wanted to reduce this share significantly. Maybe because we are quite successfully in automotive, we have not been so much successfully in reducing the share. Our other fields are industry technology, energy building technology, and consumer goods. For example, Bosch Siemens household application in Cherkezköy is also one of these areas. Now, Bosch in Turkey, we have started our business in 1910. We have found the first location or distributor in Istanbul. One important step was 1972. We have started our Bursa plant just here in Bursa with our diesel manufacturing facility. And maybe in 2010 we celebrated our 100 years business in Turkey. In the meantime, these figures are now for Bosch in Turkey. We do approximately 3 billion turnover. We have 15,000 associates, and we invested in 2014 approximately 200 million euros. Total investment, just a figure, that's the investment what we have put in our plants, in our buildings since our activity in Turkey. You see some pictures, and at the moment I'm responsible for these red ones, together with my colleague for the commercial part, Gökhan Karagöl, and we are responsible for these 3 plants which are producing diesel system products for gasoline, and also some special machinery building. Here we have a turnover from approximately 1 billion euro. We had in 2014 6,000 associates and an investment of 108. That was 2014. Now this year, business is going, I would say, like hell at the moment, like maybe the one or the other also for you. In the meantime, we have 7,400 associates, and only this year we are investing more than 220 million euros in our plants. This we are producing, I go through a little bit fast. In summary, 40 million injectors for gasoline and diesel engines, and 40 million injectors, that's a figure, but if I say every 4th car in Europe is running with injectors from our Bursa plant, that's something much more concrete and very easy to remember. So every 4th car in Europe is running with injectors from Bursa. I think there everybody in Bursa can be very proud of. A little bit Technik. And I concentrate only on diesel engine. That means we have a common rail system in our engine. There we have the injector. That is the view from outside. Here you can see some inside parts. And at the moment, we are running with a pressure inside of these injectors of approximately 1,800 bar. Means your car is put on a fingertip, and that's the pressure which is inside of our injector, approximately 1,000 times more than you put in your wheel as air. We need to ensure density, depending on this pressure to the outside area. And then we need to take a lot of care regarding precise tolerances in this nozzle, we call it, downstairs in the injector where the fuel afterwards is injected. Everybody's hair is 60 microns, as you know, and we have there tolerances with 2 micrometer and less. And inject quite a precise number of cubic millimeters every stroke in the injection. That are our customers around the world. The funny thing is, maybe for sure we are also producing injectors for Oyak. These injectors which we will deliver to Tofaş. First they are delivered to Pologne, to Polkowice, and afterwards they are coming back to Bursa as an engine. Now, Industry 4.0, as you have heard already, some figures from my colleagues before. 1996, 40 million people have had a connecting device with a computer. In the meantime, we talk in 2020 about 7 billion. 7 billion, that's more or less the world population. When we look to the connecting things, that means computer or other devices, we had 6 million some years back, 20 years back, and we will have 50 billion devices connected. That means a huge growth in connecting things. Our boss, Mr. Denner, our CEO, from Germany. He has decided every new product what we put on the market must be available also to be connected in the internet. We talk about Internet of Things and Services. In the meantime, it's standard that somebody who has a heart problem, he can wear a device which is communicated directly with the doctor and the Hastanesi, I would have said. That means to transfer this data to the doctor, and if they are critical, okay, this is recognized and taken alarm to the person. We are having cars which you can put in the garage with your iPad or with your smartphone. And we have also industry which are now called smart industry or under developing of the smart industry area. We spoke about iPhone before. In the iPhone there are a lot of sensors inside. Sometimes we are not aware what is available. And the last thing I recognized is that even you have a proposal that the iPhone tells you which of your colleagues, friends or whatever is around the corner, even you do not see it. Now, I would like to jump there through. First industrial revolution, approximately late 18th century, where we have had the first electrification in the looms. Second, industrial revolution 100 years later, 1817 approximately, we have had the first automatic belt in a slaughterhouse in Cincinnati. Once more, 100 years back, we have the digitalization, a lot of new electronic stuff. And now, just before, or just we are in this fourth industrial revolution with this Internet of Things and Services, and there is a lot of things which are coming. At the moment I cannot tell you what all, but I also have not found somebody who really can define now what's coming on to us. We assume that in approximately 20 years this development has been made a big step ahead. I need a little film now. If you put here the cursor. So there is no tone.
Is there to help prevent something like this from happening? The refrigerator orders more milk before the carton is even empty. The world is undergoing a radical change. By 2025, we will have...
So maybe it's also available for Rake, beer and whatever, if somebody wants. Now, smart factories. Smart factories, you have some information had and seen during the film, which is called with RFID. That means RFID, that's a little small pillar which shows you where are your parts in your plant. You have quality, the topic big data. I come to this point, big data, afterwards. We have robots working amongst our people without separation, because they are intelligent enough to stop working immediately just when somebody comes too narrow. We have facilities who predict problems. That means machines recognize when a breakdown is very close to them and gives information to the maintenance colleagues. Faster world for sure. And I go through these points. Finally, you have seen all these topics in a small film. Now, what are we doing in Bosch Bursa plant? At the moment, as many of you, we collect a lot of data. But this data we are not using so much during our day. Only if we have problems, then we analyze the data. And we are just starting and building up early warning system. That means that we get a hint, attention, a machine has a problem in future. Where we want to go with our experiences in the last 1.5 years, we need to improve our quantity of data, but also our quality of data. We can use this data only if we know that the data is right. There's a lot of data to be processed, and we want to have automatic triggers for predictive maintenance. Yeah, we do want to act before our machine breakdown. And for sure increase process knowledge and increase competence of our associates. I think that's something which is repeating and repeating. We need new educated people also who has a competence in the IT world connected with the competence of processes. We have around where we do this value stream design, which was mainly under mechanical improvement points. In the meantime, we put there our Industry 4.0 approach inside. We get experiences. We have a 9-step approach. That means from the idea, everybody can have an idea and should tell his idea. Here I see some opportunity for Industry 4.0. We develop it. We try to make this information accessible to put in a so-called cloud, and that this information can be worked on. Applications are used, and afterwards it goes back to our value stream design. We come being a manufacturer of products, but we are also having some competence in handling of this data. And as I mentioned before, an iPhone has a lot of sensors. Sensor business might be one of the key topics for the future. And there, in the meantime, we are also able to handle all this data, to get this data, and to make there a system approach for the applications we are in. The working systematic IT support we need, the machines expert we need, that means those machine suppliers who know their machines best. Then we need our process experts, the process which is drilling or grinding or whatever. And we need to have a very, very strong network for all these experts, but also towards the outside area. Now, what have we achieved in the last 2 years, 1.5 years? We have 5 projects finished. At the moment, we are running 9 additional projects, 7 completely thought of in Bursa plant, 2 we have more or less stolen from other Bosch plants in the world. And I would like to show 3 of them to you today. A smart tablet for reactive maintenance. Then one example of our grinding machines, where we have put the situation that the grinding machine tell us, attention, I will have a problem very fast. And a nice example also of new sensors which are wireless, informing about the situation from the machine. Smart tablet. Our maintenance colleagues are going with this tablet at the machine. They have the drawings from the machines, they have the drawings from the parts, they have the situation of the spare parts, and that means if they are having a problem at the machine, they even have a video where we have put the most often happening repair work, we have put as a video, so somebody is not so much informed, he can have with the tablet all information in one hand. And even the next step is, the guy at the machine can then ask, do we have this part which is broken down in the stock, and get it immediately transported to the machine. He do not need to go away. He gets the part where we need the part. Predictive maintenance. In our grinding machines, we have spindles which are running 200,000 rounds per minute. And these spindles are quite expensive. And we tried to put a sensor of these spindles that we have, for example, with the vibration and with the power load, we have a direct information when a spindle is not running anymore normal. Means in maybe 1 or 2 days the spindle gets break down, and therefore our maintenance guys can go to the machine, can change the spindle, and we are much faster in repairing the machine. And then a nice thing, wireless intelligent sensor we call it. Some of our colleagues in Germany, they are producing these sensors. You can buy the sensors, you put them in the machine, and without any wire connection, wireless, you can get out information like pressure, temperature, humidity, light, and so on. One can say that's a little bit a play. Yes, we play, but with every experience what we have, the KPIs and also the physical areas where we can detect with the sensors is getting more and more, and we can handle this much better. Now the summary, we had a roadmap we started in 2014. We made a kick-off with our first pilot. In the meantime, I told you we have finished 5 use cases. At the moment we are working with 9. And finally, end of 2016, we want to be able to do all the work which we need to do in some use cases by ourselves. And finally, we want to use the Industry 4.0 in achieving our strategies. What are our lessons learned? Think big. At the beginning, we thought about grinding machines or drilling machines or turning machines. But we have learned we need to think what should we do that this is available for all machines and we can use it with all machines or assembly lines. We need solid data. We had a lot of problems with our data at the beginning, that data was not in the level what we need them, and also we need qualified data. Cooperation inside our plant. We had a problem, that's maintenance, that's production, that's quality, that's IT, and getting them all under one roof and under one project, not only inside, but also from external. Money and time. We spent time and we spent also money in these 2 years. I gave as a target to the colleagues, I do not want to have a turn back, a payback of what we invest. These 2 years, the colleagues have been able to do whatever they want within the budget and just learn. The core team, for sure, we need to have the right people working on that. Very enthusiastic team. We need to release the people. They try out something and also they make error. But I think we need to make error to understand this potential from the Industry 4.0 once more. And finally, the people are our key player. The people we need to release, and then we need to have also a little bit patience. Patience, maybe that's not one of my big strengths, so I need to force myself and just let them work. And it's great what comes out. So I want to finish my presentation with some sayings from Atatürk, and let me read them out, and you can read it in Turkish for sure. Success on the way to civilization depends on innovation. That's the only way for the development to be successful in social and economic life, and also in science and technology. It is a must that the provisions valid for the life change, develop, and are renewed in time. It is not possible to sustain the existence by trying to keep the 100-year-old thinking styles in an area where the wonders of technique and innovations of civilization change the world continuously.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You say smart factories, but there is some risks for, it's open to risk for smart factories or smart hackers to the smart factories. What measurements, which measurements did you take, or how can you plan to train your employees? It's important, I think. Security, cyber attacks is important for you, for loss and for earnings.
Yeah, you are right. That's one of the key areas, that this data and this knowledge is not taken out of our company. Very valid point. I am not an IT specialist. We have taken IT colleagues from our company together and also tried out to fix there some standards which are somehow secured. But for sure, all our machines are in the meantime interacted and open for the machine supplier. They can have connection to their machines. Yeah, and what we do with the machines to fine-tune and also improve the process, somehow they know. Yeah? Our task is to have there always this knowledge about the processes and the machines together, that maybe we have a 3 or a 4 or 5 years advance in development of the process.
Başka sorusu olan?
Hi, Mr. Weller, and I have a question about the Bosch APAS. You presented in your presentation, and can you explain it a bit more?
Okay, so that's a robot, but a robot who has something like a feeling. That means he has cameras, but also he has infrared sensors and is covered and organized that he moves fast, and when he recognizes that nothing is coming, the speed, for example, is increased automatically. That means he can handle parts, and the most important thing is he is allowed, I do not know the situation in Turkey, but in Germany it's allowed that he is able to work next to people without a separation. That means he can really be a partner. Maybe he handles the high weighing parts, prepares them, and then the associates who are working with the robot, they can do the fine work in the pieces where they have taken correctly from the robot. Thank you.
Evet, teşekkür ediyoruz efendim. Değerli konuklar, Bursa